Bob Hayes. I'm 36 years old, a father of 3, and I'm an AFOL. A adult. Most states I'm considered an adult. F for fan, from the word fanatic, which goes back to the Roman Emperor Fanaticus, who realized that once people had their basic needs taken care of, food and shelter, they were able to go to the gladiator games, and he made a whole lot of money in sports merchandising. O for of. I don't really know what that means, where it comes from. And L for Lego.
Oh.
Those little plastic bricks that you may have had as a kid, maybe your children had. I haven't always been an AFL, an adult fan of Lego. For a while I was a kid, so I think they just called them kids then. There's that saying, you know, the difference between men and boys is the price of their toys. I still play with toys. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to tell you a little bit about my involvement with Lego and the enjoyment I get out of it. I'm also going to tell you a little bit about the AFOL community that is out there. You're not looking at the only adult fan of Lego in this country. I'll let you know about that. Well, Lego. When I was a kid, it just seemed like the perfect toy. I used to love getting Lego for my birthday or for Christmas. And it was always exciting to get that box. And you'd have the box and you'd get a Christmas present or a birthday present. You give it a little shake and you know exactly what it is before you even open it. There's always some excitement there. I used to build all kinds of things. Build airplanes, I'd build spaceships, I'd build buildings. And sometimes the buildings were just arrangements of blocks, you know, made for little teeny people. And I remember building shopping malls and prisons, I think because we lived near a prison. So I built a prison. Hotels, everything. Anything you can imagine. I think that's why I really like Legos. Anything that you can imagine, you can build with Lego bricks. As I grew older, 10, 12, 13 years old, I entered what's known as sort of the dark ages. That's usually when you don't play with your Lego anymore, because sure, it isn't all that cool sometimes. So I gave my Lego to my nephew, and he had some, and hopefully, I like to think that maybe he gave that to another child, and maybe it was getting given to another child. And someday I hope to get it back, but I think maybe it's good that maybe hopefully a lot of kids got enjoyment out of it. Lego bricks. They're it's a simple little design. Some fascinating things. You can take 2 Lego bricks. There are actually 20 different ways that 2 Lego bricks can be joined together. You add a 3rd brick, and it goes to over 1,000. You have 4 Lego bricks, and the possibilities they start to get astronomical as to how many possible ways that they can put together. Lego bricks are made out of ABS, which stands for acetyl butyl something. I don't really know, some kind of plastic. ABS. It's like a drug sometimes, as I said. Entered my dark ages. Luckily, I got married when I was young, in my early 20s, and have children. And that gave me the opportunity to start buying Lego again. Actually, before my first son was born, I worked that Christmas in a toy store, so I got to get an employee's discount. And they had a big Lego display. I got to play with that, and that was fun. So I started buying Lego sets. First, I bought the big bricks for my kids, and then I get them more and more sets. And we have a lot of Lego now, 100 and some sets. Keep it all in boxes, different bins. But that's not a lot compared to the other adult fans of Lego that are out there, let me tell you that. But look, I find Legos very good because it allows me to relate to my 2 older sons now in a way that that maybe I didn't have with my father. We get down and we build things together. We imagine things. We work together. We solve problems. Because Lego is no longer these little tiny bricks. At some point, a couple years ago, Lego signed a licensing agreement with Star Wars, with Lucasfilms for Star Wars, and they started making Star Wars toys. So now, lots of people were kids through the 70s, remember seeing Star Wars in the theaters, and now you got Lego. You can make your own. You can make your own land speeder. You got Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker. That's cool. I want to get one of those. Also, something that happened is that it no longer was just sort of these square bricks kind of things. There are lots of other bricks now available, all kinds of shapes and sizes. How many people are familiar with Lego, have had Lego in their house? How many people have stepped on a little Lego brick in the middle of the night in their bare feet? Lots of different things. It increases the possibilities of what you can build. As I said, though, a few years ago, they did the Star Wars, which got a lot of adults interested in it, people who maybe had Star Wars toys as a kid. Yeah. One of the things they also did a few years ago, working with the people at MIT, that one up here too. MIT, that's the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. A bunch of really smart people going to school up there. But they developed a programmable brick, a little bigger than these other ones, but it's actually a microcomputer in here. And with this microcomputer, you can build just about anything. It has inputs for sensors and outputs for motors. So you can build a robot that goes around and knows when it bumps into the wall, it knows to back up and turn around. You can build something that can take a brick and look at it through a light sensor and realize this is a white brick. I'm going to put it over here. This is a blue brick. I'm going to put it over here. This really got the geeks and the nerds into it. Because now you were able to sit down in an evening and I can build a robot. Now there were people building robots before, but the way you would do it is that it would take a long time to solder everything together, weld things together, building robots. So this got a lot of adults interested. Those kind of things. Cool. So Lego said, the bricks are cool, now adults are interested. We can have expensive toys like that. And I've got, this was a Christmas present that I got this year. This is the Silver Champion. This is an advanced Lego set made with over 1,400 pieces. It's modeled after a Formula One race car. It's got a working suspension like a Formula One race car, and you can open up to where the engine is, and it's got a V10 engine that'll spin and go around. Retail price, $170. But the community of adults happen to be online. There's an interconnection throughout the internet. There are thousands of them. And when something like that goes on sale at, say, Target.com or Walmart.com for greater than 50% off, word spreads very quickly. And they sell very quickly. So it was a Christmas present. I happen to have bought it for myself, but I liked it. I just wanted a few of the adults buying Lego and things like this. Sales. E-Toys was going out of business. They had buckets of Lego on sale for $2. One guy bought 20 buckets. They were shipped in boxes that were about this big. He had pictures online of his living room filled with 20 of these boxes. It's amazing. There's actually a group local here in the Washington area of adults with play with Lego, and I've got one of my shirts on here from an event we had last year, Brickfest, and it's called WUMALUG, the Washington Metropolitan Area Lego Users Group. And, they meet every now and then, and we share Lego and talk about Lego. So this was a good experience for me because I needed to get this out and let people know about it. It's been something I kept in the closet, and I feel it's I feel better now. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them now.
What in the world did they start with just Legos? I mean, they now build cities out of Legos and the pieces, but how the basic kit of Legos, are they very expensive now?
There are Lego sets from $1.99 to $200.
I was gonna get my grandson some, never mind.
It can be expensive. There are some cheap imitations out there, but Lego purists like to stick with real Lego. And I found when I picked up that brick before, I noticed this is a mega block, which isn't really Lego. So I don't like mega blocks.
Okay.
Any other questions?
You seem to ignore the other types of Legos. Lego purists not believe in Duplos and all
Well,
that.
a Duplo is more for smaller children. There's less you can do
So
with
adults
it.
can't play with
No.
it.
Well,
You know,
let me just, adults do play with it. I do have a bit of Duplo, and the neat thing about Lego is this fits on top of a Duplo brick, so you can expand and build upon everything. Any other questions? I see I'm out of time, so if you do have any other questions, I'd be happy to talk to you after the presentation. Thank you very much for your interest.